It started as a normal summer day, but then the air shifted. People were going about their routines, shopping, meeting friends, running errands, when suddenly a chilling emergency broadcast flashed across every screen. The end is near. The world stopped. People froze, unsure whether this was another hoax or the real thing. But this time, it felt different. This wasn't just a prediction from a fringe group. It came from a man who had predicted every major catastrophe in history. The end of the world was supposed to happen today. Panic spread like wildfire. Bunkers were stocked, churches filled, and people scrambled to prepare. Yet, when the clock ticked past the predicted hour, nothing happened. No disasters, no floods, no fiery skies. The world continued, just as it always had. But the question remained, who was this man, and why had his prediction failed? He was a self-proclaimed prophet with a mysterious past, known only to a small group of believers. His predictions had always been unsettlingly accurate, until now. For weeks, he warned of the end, citing celestial events, unusual weather, and global unrest. But when the moment arrived, the prophecy fell apart. Then something even stranger happened. The prophet disappeared without a trace. His office was found abandoned, with strange maps depicting uncharted locations, including a mysterious island off the coast of Alaska, one that didn't exist on any map. Witnesses claimed to have seen him meeting with a hooded figure just before vanishing. As the world moved on, Sarah, a former follower, couldn't shake the feeling that something was still wrong. She had seen the signs, the bizarre weather, the strange shifts in reality, and then she found a cryptic journal hinting at something far worse than the apocalypse, a cosmic transformation. The end wasn't an event, it was a shift, and what followed could be even more unsettling than the world's end. As Sarah examined the faded photograph, her heart skipped a beat. At the center was the prophet, flanked by a tall, cloaked figure whose posture sent a chill down her spine. In the corner, a symbol, one she recognized as the pendant her grandfather wore, set her mind racing. This symbol belonged to a secretive society, long faded into obscurity, yet now it seemed connected to the prophet. The failed prophecy wasn't just a mistake, it was part of something far larger, a game played by unseen forces. Meanwhile, John uncovered a scientific paper on quantum mechanics and alternate realities, tying together strange weather patterns and odd occurrences. The prophet's end wasn't about destruction. It was a shift, a rift in reality itself. Then Sarah found a final journal entry. The gateway is open, but it is not yet time to cross. The gate wasn't metaphorical. It was real. Desperate for answers, Sarah met Margaret, an associate of the prophet, who confirmed the truth. The prophet had been a gatekeeper, and the prophecy was meant to anchor the gate in place. With the gate now open, the world was unraveling. The rift had begun to spread, and nothing would be the same again. The reality they knew was already fracturing. The tension had reached a breaking point when Sarah uncovered the prophet's hidden journal entry. The words sent a chill down her spine. When the veil is torn completely, the world will split in two. The old world will crumble, and the new one will rise from the ashes. But there will be no going back. The prophecy had never been about the end. It was about the beginning of something far worse. John felt the weight of the discovery, realizing the rift was spreading faster and they were running out of time. They had to stop it before reality, as they knew it was destroyed. But how? Everything culminated one fateful night. Sarah and John arrived at a remote mansion the place where everything started. The air grew thick, reality itself warping as they approached. The mansion loomed, dark and foreboding, its doors open as if inviting them in. Inside, amidst dusty shelves of ancient books, stood a strange globe, its surface rippling with symbols. As Sarah reached out to touch it, a shadowy figure appeared, Margaret. But this wasn't the frail woman they had met earlier. She was taller, her eyes sharp, her movements unnatural. "Don't touch that," she warned. The globe was the anchor, the key to the rift. Destroy it, and the gate would close at a terrible cost. Keep it intact, and the rift would consume everything, merging worlds into chaos. The decision was agonizing, but before they could act, reality itself shattered. Figures, people they knew, but wrong, emerged from the distortion. Sarah's mother, long gone, stood before her, vacant-eyed. "You're too late," she whispered. With a desperate cry, Sarah lunged for the globe, but as her fingers grazed it, the world collapsed. A deafening roar filled the air, and darkness consumed them. Days had passed since Sarah and John destroyed the globe, the supposed anchor holding the worlds together. Yet the aftermath of the rift's collapse was anything but clear. The events that followed felt like fragments of a shattered mirror, each piece reflecting a different reality, just beyond their grasp. The mansion, the globe, and the rift were gone, wiped from existence as though they had never been. The once oppressive structure was now just an abandoned ruin, sitting quietly in an overgrown field, as if it had always been there. But that silence, while seemingly peaceful, felt wrong. It wasn't the tranquility of resolution, but the uncertainty of a world unsettled. Sarah had hoped that by destroying the globe, they would restore normalcy. Instead, they were left with more questions. The people who had crossed over from other realities remained lost. Their absence felt as deeply as ever. Sarah sometimes felt an eerie presence around her, as though those who had vanished were still out there, living lives just slightly different from the one she knew. John tried to convince her that it was over. "We did what we could," he said, trying to push forward. "The rift's closed, and things are back to normal. We can't keep chasing ghosts." But Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that something was still wrong. Had they really closed the rift, or had they only sealed it temporarily, leaving a crack through which something else might slip in? And if the rift truly was gone, why did she still feel as if she were being watched? As Sarah sat alone in her apartment, reflecting on Margaret's cryptic words, "The rift was never meant to be closed," a nagging question lingered. Had they made the right choice? Had they truly stopped whatever had begun that night? Or had they just pushed it into the background, awaiting its return? Sarah's mind spiraled with these questions. The missing people, the strange occurrences, the flickers of other worlds. They all pointed to something larger, something beyond their understanding. She couldn't help but wonder if reality itself was more fragile than they realized. What if their world was just one version of many, a single thread in an infinite tapestry of realities? And what if those other worlds, where things had unfolded differently, still existed, waiting just beyond their reach? Despite all the uncertainty, Sarah felt a deep sense of resolve. They had made a choice, however flawed, to stop the rift. And in that moment, she had stopped the world from changing forever. For now, that had to be enough. But as the days passed, and the world seemed to settle back into its usual rhythm, Sarah couldn't stop thinking about Margaret's final words. "You've only seen a glimpse of what's really out there." The mystery was far from over, and perhaps it never would be. There would always be more questions, more mysteries, and more forces at play beyond their understanding. The rift might be gone, but Sarah knew that the world she knew had already changed. In the end, the truth wasn't in the answers, but in the questions themselves. The world Sarah and John lived in would never be the same again. If you've enjoyed this journey through alternate realities and the mysteries that lie just beyond our understanding, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more mind-bending stories and deeper explorations into the unknown. And if you liked the video, please share it with others who enjoy a good mystery. Leave your thoughts and theories in the comments. What do you think happened to the rift? Is it truly over? Or is this just the beginning? Thanks for watching.